Hey guys, Victor here, and today we're going to be showcasing Tearlament combos that you can now accomplish thanks to the release of cards like Revolution Synchron and Visa's Armory Tara. Uh, because we did just get Duelist Nexus released, and it does actually, change the deck somewhat significantly because there are a lot more plays and it's a lot more versatile that you can do. However, you have to keep in mind that Tearlament as a deck doesn't really have set combos. It's more you kind of do things as you go along with your games because a lot of it is based on what you mill, and sometimes you mill really well, sometimes you mill really bad. But yeah, I guess like a more apt name for this would be scenarios that you might find yourself in that you can try to climb yourself out of. So with that out of the way, let's just jump straight into it. All right, so for the first combo I want to showcase, this is going to be your main bread and butter, as this is going to be pretty much like the main thing that gets you to your entire engine, or you get your main engine rolling, and it's literally just any level 4 plus Revolution Synchron. So what you're going to do is you're going to normal summon your level 4, special summon it, doesn't matter how it gets there. Then with your Revolution Synchron, you're going to synchro summon for your level 7 monster, and the level 7 that you will be summoning is Ancient Fairy Dragon. And from here, you're going to activate Revolution Synchron's effect. Since you control a level 7 or higher synchro monster on the field, you're able to special summon this card from your graveyard, and then you basically mill the top card of your deck. So it's like a slightly worse global, but still really good. So you mill 1, you special summon your Revolution Synchron. Then from here, you just synchro for 8, and you're going to make your Visa's Armory Tara, who in turn will then activate his own effect to search out literally any spell and trap that has Visa Starfrost in its text. So you could add Planet, Scream, Suliek, Trivy Karma, Grief, Crime, Meta Noise, whatever you want, you name it. It's literally, you add whatever depending the situation calls for, because a lot of the times you're going to have already, typically you're going to have a Planet already in your hand or a Scream, so you just add whatever card's missing or will complete your combo. And with that, that's the first thing that I want to mention. It's like I said, this is the most basic play that you're going to be doing more often with the card Revolution Synchron, but there's a lot of variants or different ways to take it depending on what your hand looks like, which I will be going over in the next clip. All right, so next up I will be showcasing what you can do through depending on the types of cards that you have in your hand, for example. So we're going to start off with these two actually, Blackwing Zephyros the Elite and Tearlament's Rhinoheart. So previously, opening these two would be considered a brick just because Zephyros doesn't do anything, and Tearlament's Rhinoheart, it sends 2 cards or whatever. If you send a fusion monster, you could I guess fuse with the Zephyros plus the Tearlament monster that you sent to make Mudragon, and then you can overlay into Time Thief Redoer, but that doesn't really do much. However, thanks to the inclusion of Revolution Synchron, that is no longer an issue. So what we're gonna do is we're going to normal summon our Blackwing Zephyros the Elite, and obviously you're not going to be able to open up Zephyros every single time, but this pretty much applies to literally any level 4 that you may have, whether it's Keldo, Mudora, Kelbeck, Agito, Sharon, other Rhino Hearts. If you're able to make a Mudragon somehow earlier in the turn because you fusion summon first, whatever. It all works the same as long as you have the level 4, and we're going to be keeping this in hand and saving it for later, because what we're going to do is we're going to be synchro summoning Revolution with Revolution Synchron into Ancient Fairy Dragon once again. Then Ancient Fairy Dragon will be special summoning from our hand. So even though it says you can't, conduct the battle phase the turn that you activate this effect, even if we're going first, it doesn't matter. We're still going to be able to activate the effect. So just keep that in mind because it will come up sometimes. And in the case of Tearlament's Rhinoheart, you can go Ancient Fairy Dragon, special Rhinoheart, send whatever you may need to send. If you want to mill more, you send Tearlament's Kashtira. Or if you have a King of the Swamp from earlier, you can send any monster. And then you just do that. So you get this on the field, which becomes another body, and it's very easy to summon. Then you can go for your Revolution Synchrons, synchro for 8 into Visa's Armory Tara once again. Search out your, your Planet, Scream, whatever you may need for the situation. But yeah, just little plays like this can go a long way in helping you ensure that you can actually, combo off and continue to mill cards until you hit something that you actually care about. And that's just with Rhinoheart. You can do the exact same thing with Diviner of the Herald and Tearlament's Merly. So let's say we special summon Diviner of the Herald instead, right? So if we summon Diviner of the Herald, we can send our Kelbecks and Agitos, and basically that opens up a lot of lines. So this becomes a level 6 tuner. So if you somehow get like another level 4 out or whatever, like say you have Revolution Synchron and you already have like all the cards that you might need off of Visas Amritara, right? So you just summon Revolution Synchron, you can bounce it with your Zephyros, then you can synchro this for Baron, or this also sets up Beatrice plays for the future, because let's face it, if you're sending your Kelbeck or Agito when you're milling 5, eventually you will hit Destiny Hero Malicious, or you could also hit like multiple Tearlament monsters to be able to fusion summon into your Garuras. So there's like a lot of different avenues and routes that, as mentioned previously, depend entirely on what you hit. And then for the final one, being Tearlament's Merly, if you special summon Tearlament's Merly, you then proceed to mill 3, which you know is always fantastic. You go for Revolution Synchron, and then you synchro for your Visas Amritara, and then you search for your card, and then, because this is a tuner, and this is a level 2, you synchro into Baron once again. And, you know, just like there's so many cool new lines that open up to you just because of the inclusion of one Revolution Synchron that, you know, honestly just changed the way that you can play this deck completely and offer you like a lot more versatility, which is something that I constantly stress is extremely important in the deck, because the more versatile your deck is, the more likely you're able to win, because you can meet any scenario that, you know, you can match any scenario that might come up, and with confidence, I guess. So with that, that's going to be like the main play that you can do with the Ancient Fairy Dragon if you do end up, you know, having this any level 4 plus Revolution Synchron, and then like any of these cards in your hand, which, you know, as far as like Tearlaments go, if you have Planet, you have access to Merly or Rhinoheart, and you can also get your Tearlament's Kashtira without having to banish, because or that might have been pre-errata Ancient Fairy Dragon, because the current errata only allows you to special summon level 4 or lower monsters, so obviously you only get the Rhinoheart or the Merly, but still, being able to extend further and further and further, and just widening the gap between you and your opponent is just invaluable. And that's pretty much going to wrap that part up, and now we can go into like the potential cross sheep lines, because those will come up a lot more often, or just as often, and they're extremely important to be made aware of. Alright, so a lot of the scenarios that come up with cross sheep pretty much involve your Revolution Synchron being in the graveyard already, whether you've had to like discard it off of like your Tearlament Sharon, or you've milled it off your Kelbecks or your Angitos, or even you could, you know, sometimes you just foolish burial it with, you know, Foolish Burial or Beatrice, and because it's not in your opening hand, right? You just ended up milling it because you can do some other cool stuff with it. And one of those situations just happens to be cross sheep plus like a fusion. It doesn't have to be Tearlament Rukolos, but a lot of the times this is going to be like your go-to field in order to overextend. So what we're going to do, right, is we're going to be special summoning Tearlament's Kashtira, or it doesn't have to be Tearlament's Kashtira. It can be tons of other cards. Like I said, you can play Malicious, Denier, whatever, and the possibilities are pretty much endless. But for this scenario specifically, let's just say it's Tearlament's Kashtira. So you special summon Tear Cash, you mill 3, whatever, but the important part is you get the cross sheep effect. So you special summon Revolution Synchron, and then from here you have an instant level 10 access. So you can make cards such as Baron de Fleur, which, you know, a lot of the times one single negate can win you the game, but not always. But it's still nice to have the extra protection with the Rukolos and the Baron on the field. Or depending on what you hit, like say for example you have your cross sheep here and your Tearlament's Kashtira there, and your Revolution Synchron with the Blackwing Zephyros in the graveyard, right? So traditionally with Blackwing Zephyros, what I would have done in the past is, depending on like my opening hand, obviously, you just bounce the Tearlament's Kashtira, and then you use it again during your opponent's turn. However, let's just say we don't have Tear Cash, right? Let's just say we have the Revolution Synchron plus some random other card here like Malicious or whatever. So we go Blackwing Zephyros the Elite, bounce back our Revolution Synchron that we brought out because Malicious was summoned here. Then we can go Synchro for 7, which we will then make Ancient Fairy Dragon. So we're going to have the Ancient Fairy Dragon, we're going to have the Malicious, and we'll have the Rukolos. And then from here, you can go Revolution Synchron for 8. You know, mill the top card of your deck, make it level 1, Synchro for 8 for Visas Amritara. Search out your Scream, your Planet, whatever. There's just so many branches that you can take, and it all depends on like how you mill, how your opening hand is. And that's what I love about this deck, is that it's so versatile in the ways that it can make. It's just, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you see it, it does take a little bit of luck to get there, because you will not always be able to, you know, be able to do these, but when it does come up, you have to be prepared to be able to take advantage of it. And as far as like the new combos, that's pretty much it. Obviously there's a lot more, but these are pretty much like the main things that you have to know, because these are the ones that are going to come up more often in most Tearlament decks, because a lot of Tearlament decks play Cross Sheep. A lot of Tearlament decks should probably be playing the Visas, especially because compared to like the OCG, right, where they have the Chaos Magic Dragon Ruler, whatever you want to call it, we don't have access to that. So instead, we're going to be playing this and just boosting our consistency. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this pretty short combo video. And if you did, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. See ya!